Okay, so just before we begin, I just want to thank you for taking time out of your day to speak with me on your career as a journalist.
Man, no problem. This is it's a new twist because I'm so used to asking the questions, and now I'm the one that's being interviewed. But I'm an HBCU grad myself, and I know when I was like in school and even early out of school, even today, I always want someone to help me out. So how can I not lend a hand out to help someone else?
Okay, thank you again. I saw that you graduated from Johnson C. Smith. One of my good friends from one of my internship programs. He's actually the student body president there, and I almost ended up going there too. So
okay,
yeah.
CIAA. You know that's the basketball conference, and it ranks one of the best. I mean, even against like the ACC, Big East, SEC, those are the big ones, but the CIAA is no sloppy seconds.
Yeah. So, my first question is pretty simplistic. Like, where did your interest begin? Where did it start?
Man, since I was, you figure, wow, we're talking like 11, 12 years old. I knew like every kid, you want to be a professional athlete, but I was always intrigued by the guys on doing television, and I was like, if I can't make it to the NFL or play Major League Baseball, the NBA, or whatever, I got to get as close to the action as possible. And so I just always wanted to be a sportscaster and a sports journalist.
Okay. So, about your Johnson C. Smith days, when you were undergrad there, what experiences would you say helped lay your foundation, if there were any, for your career?
Well, for me at Smith, it was I worked with the radio station, and I also was sports editor for the campus newspaper, so I got to cover the teams, be at practices, be at the games. I went to CIAA tournament for basketball. I went to CIAA tournament for volleyball, and I was just that guy walking around. I would be had my pad and pen, and I really had friends who played on the football team and basketball team. Some of them were in the next room in my dorm, so we would talk sports, like whether the conversations would be intertwined between, okay, we're doing an interview, and then we're just really just shooting the breeze, talking basketball, talking football.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty much the same experience for me so far.
Yeah.
So you've written for for over a decade for a number of publications, including the AJC. And how versatile would you say you've become? Because you said you've covered volleyball and basketball.
Yeah.
Have you covered any other types of sports that you weren't used to when you first started?
Yeah, I have, and the key to that is to, just like actors, you don't want to be typecasted. So you don't want to be just that person who, I love football, so that's all I can do. You may not get a chance to cover football. You may not get a chance to cover baseball. So I have covered golf. I've done softball, Little League baseball, you name it. So whatever is assigned to me, I'm a sports fan. I'm a sports nut. I live and breathe ESPN and Fox Sports and things like that. So I used to always joke around, if I had to go cover a potato sack race, I'll try to make that as interesting as possible, as if it was the Super Bowl or something like that.
Okay. So as you progress as a journalist, technology has changed a lot.
Sure has.
Especially since it's really my generation. So what technological aspect has been the most difficult to adapt to, and why?
Well, not really too much has been too difficult to adjust to. That's really for, not to be the older guys. I'm 34, so I'm just as in tune with Twitter. I'm at RorySharrock Sports is my Twitter account, Facebook. nowadays it's newspapers unfortunately are dinosaurs, so everything is online. So I think it's great. You know, a lot of people that I've had bosses and mentors who go back to the old measuring out with a ruler for the space for their photos and layouts. So they may have a little bit of an issue, but for me, it's great. It's the wave of the future. But I'm not too young where I don't appreciate. I grew up. I'm a child. I grew up as a kid in the 80s and a teenager and a college student in the 90s. So I still think it's special to have your Sunday paper, to sit down and if you're on the train or on an airplane to read your paper, to actually pull out a newspaper and read it instead. Nowadays, it's on your phone, so that's good. But I still cherish how the industry used to be, and I don't have a problem with where it's at now, where it's going.
Okay. My last question really is, like any other aspiring writer, what do you know now that you wish you knew when you first started?
How much time do you have? What do I know now? Really more so it's business. It's business, and I knew it's not about readerships. It's all about advertising. That's what sells, and that's what keeps us employed. And just really the business side of things, and to know that it's so many different avenues to it. And you know, we're with tough economic times as it is, things have to be, you know, make common sense in terms from a financial aspect. Whereas there may be a lot of events that you feel are important, that need to be covered, that you want to be at. Is it feasible from an editorial standpoint? Where can they afford to pay to send you somewhere? Or even if you're not going somewhere, can they afford to, if you're working on, like I've done a lot of contract work, so can we afford to have you do so many different things where they're important, but we have to balance that out between what's important and can we afford what's important.
Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you.
No problem, man.
Again, I really appreciate it. I always appreciate talking to somebody who's around it, because that's what I really want to do. So it's something I really realized over the past about 2 years, that I really want to go into this.
So you wanted to do this for about 2 years now?
I've been writing actually since I was 12, but I always thought I wanted to go into business. And over my first year and a half, I just hated business, and I wanted nothing to do with it. Okay. So now I'm trying to make the transition over to sports journalism.
Well, look, I am far from where I was, and I'm nowhere near to, who knows where the Lord is going to lead me. I got a long way to go. I'm still learning every day. You never stop learning until you stop living. And it's so much out there, and don't keep pursuing at it. Market yourself. Be at every event you can possibly be at. There's nothing, even if it's something as minute as rec league games, which I've done, but you make the most out of it, and you know that this is your career. This is what you want to do, and nothing is going to stop you from it. Keep God first, which I try to do every day, and you know, we'll get there. It's not easy. It's not easy, and as I tell people, I'm not a fan with a pen. I'm a professional, and that's what you are striving to be as yourself. And go to you're at Morehouse?
Yeah.
So hit up the SIAC tournament if you can. But not just for basketball. Go to the tennis tournament. Get a byline from the cross country championship. just like I said, don't want to be typecasted. You never limit. Don't put yourself in a box. Don't limit yourself. That's what I try to do. And